You're such an asshole.
Alright, we have a video request from actually an old-time lady follower. So, yes, and that's my impersonation of people calling me a misogynist. Cappy, made a payment of $40 to keep things succinct. Please address these two questions in your video. Also keep me anonymous. 1. Could it be that modern feminism is a covert strategy by jealous, unattractive women to sabotage their female competitors in the dating and marriage markets? Alright. No. It's, for some it is, but that is not, you're giving them way too much credit. What's the saying? Don't assume maliciousness when stupidity will explain it, or it's kind of like an Occam's razor thing. You're giving modern feminism, modern feminists way too much credit to form some kind of strategy that they're going to create this ideology that will make women just focus on themselves, and that way pretty young girls won't actually grow up to be pretty young girls, and then they won't. Because I've had my my philosophy change on this a little bit. I really don't know if deep down inside women want to get married. I don't know if, well, okay, let me rephrase it. Women want to get married, but how many of them want to be a wife? That's a better way of putting it. If you look at it empirically, let's take our biases away from it. And there was that study the guy did, and I know all studies are bullshit and biased, but it's interesting nonetheless. If you take your bias away and you look at what has happened to women since the government has more or less come in and replaced men. Now, men do not support women. That's the government's job. Men do not support the children. That's the government's job. Now that that has happened for, what, half a century, roughly, maybe only 30 years, depending on where you want to say how big the welfare state became, women have made it very clear they really aren't that interested in marriage. By their actions. Now, again, deep in the heart of hearts, do they want to get married? Do they want to have kids? Do they cry themselves to sleep? You know, one gal made a tweet. Why am I sitting here working a job I don't like with student loan debt? All I want to be was a wife with children, stay at home, raise them. Well, what the fuck? Is that what they want deep down inside? Who knows? But effectively, what we deal with in the real world is what their actions are. And women, as a group, not all of them, but as a group, have kind of made the clear choice that they would prefer not to have men in their life. Oh, they might get married, but there is not that. I don't even know if you could consider that marriage anymore. Where, oh yeah, we're married, but I'm still going to put my career first. I want to be a mother, but I'm going to outsource my kids to daycare. So I'm very much on a, if you can understand the fine philosophical line I'm trying to draw here. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people feel. All that we can deal with is what people are, their decisions they make in the real world. And as a group, since the welfare state has come along, women have increasingly chosen career, education, and all that over family. Even those that are married, you don't have a family. If you had kids, you kick them off the daycare and you go back to work. That's not a family. That's an incubation unit. Okay, we could call it a Soviet incubation unit, because that's all you're really doing. If you spend, and we could even use this as a mark, if teachers spend more time with your kid than you do your kid, you're not a family, you're an incubation unit. You're a breeding couple. You're breeders, that's what you are. You're not parents. And so when we look at it that way, I see that women kind of, they don't, and they've chosen to, feminist or not, they have chosen to go into careers, they have chosen to go into debt for careers, to go into education, and pursue their own life rather than pursue life with other human beings and get married and put the family first. And so when we look at that empirical choice, that decision that as a group most women have made, I wonder if it renders your not concern, or it's not even accurate. You're asking, could it be a covert strategy to keep women from men? I am starting to come around to the conclusion women really didn't want men that much in the first place. That it was out of necessity, not love, that they had to have a man. And now that the government has made it like, look, you don't need a guy to survive no more. You don't need no man. Women are acting on that. So, and then also there's that philosophical point that by their own actions they're saying they don't need men. So I don't think feminism is about keeping women or young girls who would grow up to be hot, attractive women from getting men. Now, as women get older, you can see human nature, biology, jealousy kind of kick in, where, you know, oh, look at that hot chick, and they I could see kind of the, not the Wicked Witch of the North, I keep forgetting the Disney movie where it's the old lady trying to keep Snow White or Sleeping Beauty, mirror, mirror on the wall. She thinks she's the hottest. And oh my God, there's a hotter chick. She's with the dwarves, whichever one that is. I confuse the two. I don't think that's as common. It happens, sure. There's older women are all. What was it, that 60-year-old guy? He divorced his wife, and then he has some hot 24-year-old babe that he married in. And the People magazine, people of the world read. Okay, yeah, there's that natural jealousy. But I don't think it's a covert strategy. Feminists did not get around their cabal and the witch's brew and I will come up with a covert strategy, my pretty. No. I think they really don't like men. I think their entire philosophy, especially feminists, if you have an actual feminist, and not the type, oh, I'm a feminist, equal treatment. I'm talking your hardcore, your women's studies majors, that type of thing. They don't like men. I think they really just don't want to have anything to do with men. And if you look at whether they followed like sheep because they were indoctrinated and went against the biological, but I don't care. The choices they've made is that no one, hey, here's a government check, here's guaranteed everything. We really don't need you except for sperm donor. It really is starting to seem to come out that way. And so I'm not sold on either or, because I've known plenty of gals who just want to find a guy. Well, why didn't you? They didn't tell me. They told me they had to go to guy. Well, how are you a strong, independent-minded woman then if you just did what you were told and didn't question anything? But I'm getting too tired for that shit. I don't care anymore. I'm just saying, what decisions are you making? Those? Okay. Now you're a known actor. You are an agent. You have sentient thoughts, and you've made a decision in the real world that I can see. There it is empirically, and now I'm going to make my decisions, observations, counter decisions based on that fact. So based on what I've seen so far, it's not a strategy by jealous, unattractive women to sabotage their female competitors in the dating and marriage market. I think feminism is basically, and I wrote about this in How Not to Become a Millennial, and I think Vince kept most of it in there when I sold it. It's not the original, he's edited it, but I think feminism, most isms, are really just a lazy person's way to gather value. In feminist particular instance, it's using gender, what you were born with, to create value. And that's the modern political movement you see in the Western world today. Traits I was born with give me value. I'm black, I'm Hispanic, I'm bipolar, I'm, or traits you claim to have. I'm a feminist, I'm an environmentalist. Anything if you can add a description or belong to a group or belong to a tribe without having to do work, that is the new political religion. That's what feminism is. And that is that I have intrinsic value because I'm a woman, which is basically a very euphemistic way of saying, because I was born with a vajayjay, I have value and therefore I don't have to work and the world owes me a living. You're not going to find a libertarian, let's cut the taxes and get to entrepreneurship and capitalist feminist. You might find like a real old school true feminist who's like, yeah, man, let's go make some money. I'm a kick-ass. My aunt is like that. My aunt's really cool like that. So there's some like that. But your modern day feminists, the vast majority of them, it is not even about the vajayjay. It's, hey, I was born with this and I want to play victimhood politics and get preferential treatment and have value in life because I believe in what? The success of women? I was like, well, how brave is that? Who's against the success of women? So that's what I think it is. It is not a covert strategy. It is just women don't need men anymore. their natural behavior that we see in the real world is to confirm that, to validate that. They've gone off. They don't really need men. And feminism now it's a religion. Human mind can't exist without some kind of religion or some kind of vice. You need those two things. And women have, a lot of them, not all of them, have used feminism as that purpose and agency, that religion. Christianity is stupid, but feminism, all right. I have value because of a trait I was born with. So, yeah, I don't think. Maybe down the road as a secondary, like, there's that natural, like, oh, yeah, she's hot. But I really don't think feminism and feminists give men more than an inkling of thought beyond, like, how are they oppressing us? I don't think, they don't look at men as, like, oh, someone to date. It's we don't need that. I really think it's the opposite of what you're thinking about. All right, your second question here. Could it be that the idea of feminism, homosexuality, and various genders is sold to the masses to weaken the Western population to create a population decline and thereby lead to total population replacement? Because self-preservation is the most natural instinct for any living being, and seeing European countries take migrants and the promotion of these ideologies above seems like a form of cannibalism to me on a group level. It doesn't make sense to me that why would a group of self annihilate itself with these beliefs? These actions seems to go against how nature operates and against human nature. So I think there might be people who are secretly implanting these ideologies to the masses. No, again, way too advanced. Okay, you are crediting them with Joker level, James Bond villain level genius. You think that there's a Goldfinger villain with this mastermind. No, it's even simpler, and it goes back to what I said before. It's laziness. It could probably be right here in the first sentence. Could it be the idea of feminism, homosexuality, and various genders sold to the masses to weaken Western population, to create population decline, thereby population? No. One, homosexuality is a thing. Okay, non-binary, whatever you want to call it, gender dysphoria, whatever, where you're not gay, you're not straight, you're something else. I'll even credit that. What you are witnessing is the same thing with feminism, why it's so attractive, particularly when I looked it up, I think it's 112 genders now. What that is here's a trait. Okay, you got to understand the power of traits. If you have a trait today in a democracy and the population says, yeah, you're great and we're going to vote you in because of a trait, you don't have to work. That's what makes traits so attractive, is if you can get society to give you money, lower standards, give you some kind of cachet because of your trait, that means all that much less work for you. And this is why victimhood politics is popular. Now, the problem is, let's say you're a straight dude, okay? You're just this boring old white guy. Well, the traits you were born with are not on the list of special treatment. So now what you see, and I make a damning accusation, it's not all people, but I make a damning accusation that you'll fake a mental illness or disability, and then you'll fake some kind of gender that you're not. And then with 112 genders, it's almost like, okay, really? You got more flavors of genders than you do donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. Don't tell me this doesn't have an ulterior motive. No, you're not a pansexual, sweetheart. You're just an attention whore in high school. You've never even touched a dick. All right, shut the fuck up and go study your calculus. As Father Cappy would say if he ever had a daughter that walked into it, which would never happen because Cappy's not going to have any kids. But, and this is where the maliciousness versus stupidity, Occam's razor. I don't believe feminism or fake homosexuality, people who act like they're gay, that do it for attention. You could even be gay, but if you're like, hello everybody, it's like, okay, all right. Number one, you're an attention whore first. Then second, you're gay. All right. It's like, why can't you just be gay? What's wrong with that? Be gay, be proud. But when he's like, hello everyone, it's like, you are abusing your sexuality to garner attention. All right? And like my buddy Khan, if you ever hung out with my buddy Khan, you wouldn't know he's gay. You know why? Because he has other shit going on in life. And then when you have, And there's so many stupid sexual, like the sapiosexual. I'm more of a pansexual. Those are the two that stand out. It's like, no, you're just a pain in the ass college sophomore who really doesn't want to work or achieve anything in life. And you found this cute little astrological sign of sexuality, like, oh my goodness, so I'm a cardboard cutout sexual. I just did da. It's like trading Pokemon cards. It's pathetic and sad. And that is the much simpler explanation. It's not George Soros or the Illuminati or the Bilderberg Group trying to replace the population. It's a bunch of people who are too fucking lazy to go get a real job, a real degree, a real profession, produce real accomplishments and achievements and shit in the world, become of real value to society. They immediately... Test me on this, all right? Here's what I want you to do. Anytime you see on somebody's profile, they list the pronouns. It could even be straight. He, him, she, her. It doesn't matter. Look at their LinkedIn. Go investigate them a little bit. You're not going to find surgeons. You're not going to find engineers. You're not going to find CPAs. You're not going to find nuclear family state. You're going to find fucking activists and liberal arts majors and the worthless people of society who have no careers or professions. Now, there is 320 million Americans. Yes, I'm sure there's an engineer out there. I list my pronouns because that will get me the vajayjay, according to the feminists. I'm on layaway. They told me it's coming. All right, so yeah, you gotta. But the vast majority of them, they're gonna be your lawyers who went to some fucking dipshit law school, $200,000 in debt. No one will fucking hire them, but they're a lawyer. Seriously, go look at it because you gotta sit and think about like you're listing your pronouns. You listed who the fuck? What is that? That's what's gonna give you value. This is the low-grade currency and cachet of human values that you're so woke you put pronouns down? You know, he wasn't gay, he wasn't he's non-binary, I forgot what, he trans something. And he had a phrase for straight people who would just like slobber over themselves to show their pronouns. It was a play on pronouns. It was some hilarious where legitimately non-binary people see these virtue signaling straight assholes virtue signal like, oh, that's so astroturf. It's just so, it was like pronoun turf or something like that. I was like, I wish I saved it. But use that as a sample. Use that as an example. Go and look at anybody who lists the pronouns. Go look at them. Are they producing something of value? I'll bet you 95% of the time, no. Working for some nonprofit, waiting on government grant. They're in academia. They're some league, something. They're not working at the Ford factory. They're not slinging coffee. They're not doing anything of fucking value for society. And that is a much simpler explanation as to why you see this rise in different types of genders. There is different types of genders. There are legitimate cases of mental illness. But by God, the fucking scum of society have really gone and used that as an attention-getting measure when they're neither, whatever, pansexual or I have a case of the autism when you don't. And that, I think, is what you're seeing more regular. So, no, I don't think feminism is covert strategy. I don't think the various genders is some kind of James Bond villain level way to depopulate the population. It's just lazy, no good fucks using traits as a substitute for value than achievements and accomplishments. That's all that is. So there you go. All right. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. Check out all the links below, and we'll see you guys later. Toodles.